Shalom, shalom, everybody. Once again, I am your brew, Ban Shemayim, back with another one. If you're looking at the pictures in the background, this is just a concept idea. I'm going to start a kickstart soon of something that I'm working on. I don't want to give all the details to the internet, but if you guys would like to help on this project, let me know. I'll have the kickstart started soon. Okay, so without further ado, this video is going to be about this guy, Timo Media 360. He did his perspective on what he thinks going on with Russia and Ukraine, and I want to know what you guys think about his perspective. Any opinions that he said that I could find the evidence without making it too long of a video, I did chop up and put into the video. So without further ado, let's get started.
So because the defense minister of Russia, Shoigu, visited North Korea, so the Western media is spreading propaganda in the system. They claim that North Korea is about to send weapons to Russia, which is absolutely nonsense.
The meeting brings together two world leaders who are increasingly isolated on the world stage. So what do they each have to gain or potentially lose here?
Diane, what Russia needs to gain here is munitions. They need those artillery munitions either in the form of rockets or in the form of artillery shells.
Weapons to Russia, which is absolutely nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. Now, if you look at the military-industrial complex of North Korea, it's very small, regardless, however we see North Korea or Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un or North Korea is dangerous because of their nuclear weapons and not artillery. What exactly does North Korea have? Is it the 2 or 3 ballistic missiles they have? What exactly do they even have? Right? It's very small. Whatever North Korea produce cannot even sustain the Russians for even 2 weeks on the battlefield. In fact, Russia helped North Korea to build their military. You see, the Russians are about to send scientists to North Korea to help North Korea build their military. Right? Just like they did in Iran. You see, Russia is helping North Korea because of America. Initially, the Russians were hesitating to help North Korea because they wanted to make this world a peaceful place for all of us. You see, under Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev, after the end of the Cold War and after the collapse of the Berlin Wall, they signed a lot of treaties to get rid of some of the nuclear weapons and some of weapons in the world. And America walked out of some of the treaties and they started producing more dangerous weapons. So initially the Russians were reluctant in helping North Korea, but now they realize that America wants wars. Because if you look at American military-industrial complex, like I always tell you guys, it's owned by private entities. They produce more weapons, and they have to sell these weapons. So they always want war.
Complex. Network
they don't want this war to be a peaceful place. Because it's owned by
involved in the production of weapons and military technologies. The military-industrial complex in a country typically attempts to marshal political support for continued or increased military spending by the national government.
Because it's owned by private entities. So they have to make money. They produce the weapons. If they don't go to wars, they will not get money. So they have to go to wars. And they keep provoking Russia. And that is why the Russians rebelled their military-industrial complex. Or that is why they rebelled their military. And now they are helping more countries around the world. The same thing happens to Iran. The Russians are helping them with scientists to build their military. So initially, I created a video and I was saying that North Korea will send 300 to 500,000 troops if NATO land full-scale war, and people didn't understand the whole war. Let me tell you, this is how world wars are fought. They form alliances. Nobody fought alone in First World War and Second World War. Alliance is very important. So in the case of Third World War, that means NATO, together with their partners, will invade Russia. Because Ukraine is completely gone. Ukraine is wiped out of the map. If you look at some part of Ukraine, about 30% is controlled by Russia. And in Western America, they also use loans to trap Ukraine. And now BlackRock and Vanguard is now buying off Ukrainian property. So Ukraine is completely gone. And now BlackRock and Vanguard is now buying off Ukrainian property. So Ukraine is completely gone. Ukraine can't even pay civil servants without the Western America support, right? So the Western America fully understand that Ukraine is completely gone. If you look at the defense lines of the Russians, there is no way that Ukraine can break in. And now they are discussing about launching full-scale war against Russia. Look, the Russians have their own problem. If you look at population rate in Russia, it is declining. Second World War affected Russia badly. They have the biggest country on earth, yet they have just 150 million population. They are very small, and that is why the Russians did everything possible to prevent this war in the beginning, because they don't want to die. They want to maintain their population. They want to grow. That is why today, if you give birth in Russia, they give you $5,000 to $7,000 free, because they want their population to grow, right? So they don't want to suffer, the kind of losses they suffered in the time of Napoleon and Second World War. Because they've promised never in their life to allow whatever the Nazis did to them to happen again. And that is why they are fighting this war in attrition way, because they want to protect their citizens. They don't want them to die. So if North Korea is stepping in terms of full-scale war, they will step in. I see nothing wrong with this. First World War was war alliance fought. Second World War, countries form alliance. So if Third World War, countries are trying to form alliance, what is wrong with that? Does that mean Russia is weak? Was Germany weak when Germany was forming alliance with other countries in Second World War? Was America weak when America was forming alliance with countries in the Second World War? So what is wrong with that? The Russians equally form alliance. The Soviet Union comprised of a lot of countries. So there is nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you are weak. That is why you are forming alliance. No. It's America. Okay, then you guys are trying to tell me that America is equally weak. And that is why America is also forming an alliance with Western Europe. And equally, Western Europe is also weak. That is why they are forming an alliance with America. So there is nothing wrong with this. That is why the Chinese are also forming an alliance with the Russians. Look at the military capacity of China. Sorry, look at China. Look at their military. Look at their military budget. Very huge. But they fully understand that they must form alliance with the Russians. So forming alliance is not an act of weakness. It means you are growing. It means you are protecting your interests. It means you don't have to fight alone and die foolishly. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. I don't understand how some people think. I don't just get you guys. There is nothing wrong with that. If Russia is forming an alliance with, North Korea, it doesn't mean they are weak. Is Russia fighting against Ukraine now? Ukraine is completely gone. NATO is trying to step in. There is no way that Ukraine can break through the defense lines of Russia. No way. I can put my head down for you. And NATO see this war as their war. Because NATO think that if Russia win against Ukraine, then that means they've won against them. So they don't want that to happen. So they fully understand that NATO fully understand that Ukraine is gone. And that is why they are trying to step in. And trust me, if NATO step in or try to invade Russia, full-scale war, a lot of countries around the world will support Russia. Yes, they will do that. Yes, they will do. Regardless how powerful you are, you still need alliance. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. No. Napoleon is one of the greatest warlords of all time. But Napoleon didn't invade Russia alone. Napoleon organized almost the whole of Europe against Russia. Does it mean Napoleon was weak or France was weak by then? No. The fact you are powerful doesn't mean you should fight alone. It doesn't work that way. No. So alliance is very, very important. And in fact, with or without North Korea, the Russians can even fight. But they are going to suffer. It is not going to be easy for them. Full-scale war is not going to be an easy task for anybody. Everybody will suffer in terms of full-scale war. But I strongly believe that there is no way that America can defeat Russia. Because the West has never defeated Russia before. And I strongly believe that if they try, they are going to fail this time around too. But despite Russia winning all the wars against the West, note they also suffered catastrophic losses. Though they won, the cities were brought down, their citizens died, and they don't want that to happen again. So they are now forming important alliance. There is nothing wrong with that. Thank you. Don't forget to like the video.
I put that in another video where a guy was talking about it, but I decided to drop the full image in this one. On that note, man, let me know in the comment section, what do y'all think? Do y'all agree with the brother that I put on here? And I tried to put little clips to prove everything he said. With that, Barakatah.